Welcome to the second video in our Academic Skills series. In a 6-week intensive teaching period, managing your reading load effectively is challenging but really crucial for your success. Today we're looking at strategic reading techniques that will help you tackle dense academic texts in your studies, and particularly for your current unit. We'll use an example article relevant to your studies to outline how to do this. Academic reading differs significantly from reading for pleasure. When reading for pleasure, we typically read from start to finish in a linear fashion. However, academic texts require a more strategic approach. Before diving in, always take a moment to assess the text structure and organisation. Breaking down dense theoretical texts, like this research article on infant development, can significantly reduce cognitive load and improve your comprehension. Let's explore two essential techniques, skimming and scanning. Skimming involves quickly moving through a text to get a general overview. You should focus on things like the title, the abstract, and the keywords, section headings and subheadings, and any figures and tables that you see with their captions. For example, with this research article on infant standing, skimming reveals it's an experimental study examining whether very young infants, 3 to 5 months, can demonstrate task-specific standing much earlier than developmental milestones would suggest. Scanning, on the other hand, involves searching for specific information or keywords. This is useful when you're looking for particular concepts, methods, or findings. Academic texts contain signposts that help you to identify key information. Look for things like discourse markers, like however, thus, furthermore, firstly, secondly. You should also look for theoretical frameworks, like the group selection theory mentioned in the introduction. And finally, make sure to note any evidence and findings, particularly in the results section, tables, and figures. Effective note-taking depends on your reading purpose. Are you reading to understand methodology, gather evidence, or prepare for an assessment or exam? Make sure your purpose is really clear in your mind before you start reading. One example of this is a synthesis grid. A synthesis grid organises information by key themes rather than by the structure of the article. For this research article, we might create columns for these things: definitions of key terms, traditional versus task-specific standing, the role of experience in motor development, and any strengths and limitations that we've picked up from the article in general. Notice how this approach helps you to synthesize information from different sections of the article around central themes. Rather than simply summarizing each section, you're showing how the ideas connect to each other. As you read additional sources, add them in as new rows in the grid using the same column themes. This allows you to easily compare how different researchers approach similar concepts and identify patterns or contradictions across the literature. To recap, strategic academic reading involves assessing text structure before reading, skimming for the overview, focusing on the abstract, the intro, and the discussion first, scanning for any specific information that you're looking for, identifying key information through signposting language, and taking purposeful notes. Once you get your head around these techniques, you'll hopefully find that reading becomes a lot less overwhelming